Hey y'all, welcome to my home and to my channel. Tonight we're going to do a collaboration with some other fantastic YouTubers. They're creative and organized, and we're going to show y'all how to organize with items from the Dollar Tree. So let's get started. All right, this is an embarrassing shot, but I gotta just put it out there and share it with you. So this is what my beautiful shelf that I had my husband make me looked like until I organized it. Just art supplies, kids' projects from school, some decorating things. So let's get this thing organized. So I bought some things from the Dollar Tree. I didn't use every single one of these things in the project, but I will be using them. So you just check out the rest of my organizing videos as they come along. And what I found out was it's very inspiring and encouraging to do this. So this little clip, I'm showing you some of the labels, and some of them are repositionable, and that's really a plus. Those Avery labels that are there on the bottom are not from the Dollar Tree, and I'll put the link to that below in the thing. And I love those because you can put anything you want on those glossy white labels. So you'll see that I made those up. Here's an example, or that's actually the ones I used. And then I also used my Cricut maker and I made these infusible ink and this iron-on vinyl for the bigger containers. And then I just used my baker's twine and some hot glue and I attached them. So I have some, I guess, there's quite a bit of Cricut project things in there. And I have the fusible ink one I'm going to just put on there with the baker's twine and hot glue it, and then just put the lid back on. This is a little bit, I had to kind of come up with a way to put a label on this since it's a kind of a fabric container. And this container I already had, and I could put a link to where you can find a container like this as well. And it's, bought it for my daughter, oh my gosh, I bet 10 years ago. So it's not a new one, and it's lasted through all that, and she's still using it. So those are her infusible ink things, and I see there's some tools in there too. Lucky girl. But she stores them in my craft room, and that's what that is. So instead of using the side of these boxes, and we have had these forever, and I had to glue some of the corners together, but what I used were removable labels, and I actually bought these at the Dollar Tree, and this is a great find. And for $1, if you buy them someplace else, they're going to be a lot more expensive. So I'm writing fabric scraps on there, and I'm going to put it on there, and I can take it back off. So the side that has the little metal label holder, I'm not using that one. So because I want to use these, labels are nice and big too. Those are a little more difficult to use. So for the sake of easeability, I'm going to get it done. And so I just wrote it right on there with my little Sharpie, and you can see, look at that, peels right back off. Repositionable. That's not my favorite word of 2020, but it's definitely one of my favorite words with organization and labels. Now I'm going to use the little flip top containers that I got from the Dollar Tree, and you guessed it, for $1. I'm going to put some color pencils in there and some highlighters and some other doodads from my craft room that have just been kind of falling over on a shelf there. So I'm going to use my Avery labels, and I simply printed these out. I downloaded the little thing, and it'll tell you on there how to do it. I'll put the link to the Avery labels below, and these are easy to read. I used a simple font, and I did a little cute little thing under there, the little decoration. So I made these, put my business cards in another one. They're just like kind of all over the place, and I have different kind of business cards for different events. So I'm just going to put them all together, and I can figure out what they are. So here's one of them, and I'm just going to leave them in there and fit them in the boxes perfectly and flap it closed. And you guessed it, I'm going to use my label that says business cards. Very simple to read, and that is why I chose to use the Avery labels that are white in lieu of using my Cricut Maker and making those vinyl letters, since these are see-through containers. However, if you have containers that are not see-through, you can definitely do that. So I'm going to go on and I'm going to use every one of these labels and put my items in there, and I'm excited to see how pretty this is going to turn out. I also purchased some containers that are intended for shoes. This is a shoe storage container, and they would be perfect in your closet with shoes on there, and you could definitely label them and have them stacked up. They'd be neat as a pin and have a really nice look in your closet. So I will be doing that in my closet, and you can check that out later. So make sure you subscribe and ring the bell so you can see that and some other inspirational organization. It's really uplifting to organize. So I made my labels, put it on there, put the little lids on, and I can stack them up easily. No more falling over. If you've been following my blog, then you know that I love to make patterns. I am a crafter, sewer, creator from the beginning of time, my time that is. So this is from my beard, this beard pattern for my gnome, my sock gnome, and here's a hat pattern for one of my gnomes. And I like to keep a copy of them. And this is also from my gnome applique pillow, and I can put the link to all these posts below. You're going to love crafting these. Oh, and here is a new one. It's a unicorn. So, and then from my little heart, you can either use your Cricut Maker or you can cut these out. And you guess what I did? I cut them out by hand. And my daughter uses a Cricut Maker, but I'm old school. So I'm going to make up my little folders, and I'm going to put them on my little tabs instead of having these randomly stacked up inside magazines, wherever, underneath stuff, and I can never find them. So this is going to be great. This is going to be a serious time saver. So it takes me a few minutes to do it now, and then forever I'll be able to put my fingers on them. And I've got a little label for the front of that says folders. So those are my folders, and this is a container I already owned, so that just made it really free because I already had it. So that's definitely a budget saver. If you have something that you can reuse for this, go for it. This one, however, I purchased from Target, and it's really a pretty one, and I love that it's got kind of a copper thing in the front. But instead of using that and writing on that, I'm using it as a template, and I am going to make a repositional tag with the repositional tags from the Dollar Tree. So I can do that and then write on it, and I can lift it back up and change the tag without ever ruining the original template that was in there. All right, here I am. I'm just gonna go quick and show you how I kind of do a little distribution of the buttons. And I do think I need to get some more of these little containers and do a little bit more of a distribution, but I'm completely happy with what happened with what I did, the containers I did have. So they're not just all a bunch of jumbled mess anymore. This one is that message board. I don't know if y'all like the message board, but I love it. Just fun, for holidays and every day. The one in my laundry room right now says welcome home because I have a command center there, and you're going to love that one. So that'll be coming up soon. So you'll definitely want to check back for that. How to organize a command center with message boards and all of that. And so I'm going to use one of my paper containers that have been just sitting on that shelf, actually empty, and going to use my repositioning tag on the side that doesn't have the metal, so I can reuse it for whatever down the road. All right, to get this shelf, this beautiful shelf that my husband made me, I'm going to remove these decor items. Some of them still have price tags on. I haven't used them, get them on sale. Oh, I'm going to use this down the road, and they're just kind of waiting there. So they can be put into my storage area in my new laundry room, which I'll put a post link to that below. You're not going to believe my laundry room. It is a showstopper for sure. And here's some art projects, even some awarded art projects that kids have done over the years. And as you know, I like black and white, so that somehow they end up there. all together. So move them off, and then once I get everything off, I'm going to dust everything, and I like this little Swiffer duster, and I can put a link to that below, but I think everybody probably knows what a Swiffer duster is. And here's just a little tip. Whenever you dust or you clean, you come from the corner to the center and the corner to the center. Never dust into a corner. So you're going to start at one side in the corner, bring it to the center and out, and from the other side to the center and out. So I kind of started on the top. So you see what I'm saying? Very simple. All right, I got shelf number 1. I've got those black fabric bins on there with the Cricut Maker items. Next, we're coming down to the next shelf, and I'm cleaning that off, and I'm going to put my paper boxes on there, some Cricut printer paper, and that's for the infusible ink as well, and the message board, as you saw me put that in there. And then I have 2 other boxes. I have this ribbons, and then I have also one that has a little bit of fabric scraps. Now I have, of course, in my studio, I have a huge fabric stash, but in here these are just for small projects, so I have just a wee bit. Gonna do the same thing. I've already cleaned or dusted off all these shelves, and I start at the top and go down. So now I'm just gonna stack up those items that I've already got labels on, and I am gonna make a true confession. I'm going back to the Dollar Tree and getting some more of these flap over lidded, gray lidded containers, and I hope they have them. And I'm also going to get some more of those little small square ones, and the little square ones that I use for my buttons are food safe. So you know, anything at all, maybe you're doing a recipe or you just got a little bit of this or that, maybe for spices or anything, you could use those. So you definitely want to grab those, and it's only $1, and you get I don't know how many there's in there, 10, 12, something, but it's definitely worth it. Now I'm coming to my shelf where I have just random books and binders and whatever, and gonna dust that one off, and I'm gonna put my binders up in there, very neat. And I'm planning on purchasing new binders, and I would like them to be the same color and shape. So, and that would look, and do some nice labels on those as well. So I'll be looking forward to doing that in the very near future. And this is almost a wrap. Almost finished, and I want to just give you a little true confession. The next morning after I'd organized this, I came in, and it just was very refreshing. I felt so inspired to do more organizing. It's totally worth the few minutes that it took me to do this and the few dollars that I spent on those containers. So I will be looking forward to doing, more. And I wanted to just say that if you just do a shelf, a junk drawer, a countertop, a dresser, a side table, or any place where things gather and you could organize, you definitely just start there. Just start small, and you'll be inspired to do the rest. I know I have. Wow, that's a wrap. So that's going to start us out on a new year, 2020. We're going to be organized and having a great year. We're starting out with everything ready to go for the perfect beginning of gonna be the perfect year. So make sure you check out my blog at kippyathome.com and see more inspiration, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, because we're doing this every week. So check out the other YouTubers in the playlist, and let's get organized and make it the best year yet. Happy 2020, Happy New Year. See you soon.